So I was watching this Tony Robbins seminar online recently, and in it he said something which I remembered. He said clarity is power. And the way that he described it was that when your brain gets clear and starts to focus on something, suddenly that's all you can see in the world. And I know it certainly applies to me because when my husband and we decided to have a baby, I mean, really, suddenly all I could see were like babies everywhere in the world, right? Suddenly that was the only thing I noticed. Similarly, when we decided to buy a certain type of a car, that is all I could see on the roads. I mean, it was there all along, but because I had trained my mind to think about it and focus on it, I could see it everywhere around me. And the same way, when we train our brains to focus on, our business objectives and get clarity, that's when we can really hone in on what kind of content we need to create to meet our business objectives and get really, really clear on what we want to do and how we're actually going to achieve those business objectives. So this episode is going to all be about how to get clarity with your content. Hi, I'm Salma Jaffrey, and you're watching Content Marketing Tips, the weekly show to watch for non-icky, authentic marketing advice. I was talking to a client a few days ago, and she said something really interesting. She said, Salma, how I want to compete with my, competitors who have more money, big advertising budgets, is through content. I feel that I can really differentiate my business if I have the right targeted content, which they don't. And I was like, that's absolutely true. You need to have great content, and that's a great way to differentiate yourself and compete with the big corporations, right? And so we started to put together a content strategy for her, because without a strategy and without a plan, I told her that you're just going to be creating in a vacuum, right? You're just going to be creating all of this stuff without knowing why you're creating this. Tweet this out. Without a strategy, content creation is just noise. Think about it for a minute. If you are just creating for the sake of creating, then that's not creating value. That's just adding noise to the world. And to be able to give value to your business and to your efforts, give value to yourself, and most importantly, be able to give value to your audience, you really need to have a plan. Because while marketing is a cost, content is an asset to your business. And so you really need to think about how you can best use that asset and build a strategy around it. So a content strategy is going to, number one, help you get clarity on your why. How is content going to help you achieve what you want to achieve in your business? So that's the number one thing that you are going to get, right? The second thing a content strategy is going to help you get is the ability to meet your business objectives. So once you know what you're working towards, so maybe you're working towards more subscribers or better revenue or brand recognition. So whatever your business objectives are, a well laid out strategy is going to chart out the roadmap to get you there. Another thing that content strategy is going to help you with is to understand the feedback loop between creation and success. So you're creating. How are you measuring success? How do you know that all your creation efforts are actually successful, and how do you measure that? So that's another thing that content strategy is going to help you with. So essentially, when you create with a strategy, then you create for results. So step one in a content strategy roadmap is that you have to identify your goals. Then you have to identify your objectives to meet those goals, and then you have to determine what success will look like when you actually meet those goals. How are you going to measure that success? So it's a three-part thing: goals, objectives, and success. And remember, your goals have to be SMART, which means they have to be specific, measurable, actionable, relatable, and time specific. So typically when I work with clients, we set 3-month goals, 6-month goals, 1-year goals, and so on, so that we have clear objectives every step of the way. The second thing your strategy needs is your audience's pain points. So you need to really understand what problem are you solving for your audience, and how is content going to help them get clarity on that problem. So you need to know your audience, you need to understand who they are and what is their main problem that you are solving for them. Now, the third thing in your content strategy is to determine just what kind of content to create. So the formats, the frequency, the type, the platforms that you should be on. And a lot of that is going to depend upon you, and a lot of it is going to depend upon your audience. So where does your audience hang out? Where are you comfortable being on? And what formats are you comfortable with starting this process from? And what should your frequency be? And what should your length be? And all of those things are going to go into your strategy. So you're not left at the end thinking about, oh, what do I do now? But you have it all mapped out and you just follow that plan. All right, so the next thing that you need is a distribution plan. So once you know what kind of content you're going to be creating, the next thing is, where are you going to be distributing it, right? So all the channels and the ways and the people that you're going to need and the resources that you're going to need for distribution. And then the final piece of this puzzle is your analytics. So what exactly are you measuring, and what tools are you using to measure, and what does that measurement look like? What does success look like finally? And so all of this together essentially forms your content strategy. As always, if you enjoyed this episode and got value from it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you need to be on my email list. I'm not even asking you anymore. I'm saying you absolutely have to be, because I've got a course coming out on content strategy. So salmajafri.com/subscribe is where you need to be on. And if you're already on the list, you're going to be notified of when the course comes out, but not just when it's going to come out. You are going to be getting a discount if you are on the list, which is the discount is only for subscribers. So I really hope that you're going to get on that list, and I hope to see you inside the course really, really soon as well. Thank you so much for watching. Stop screaming! I can hear it in the video. Should I do it again?